You can make someone stupider, but it's very difficult to make someone smarter, although hard work definitely is a plus. People stack up at the bottom, and it's not easy to figure out how to deal with that, but because you need the people who are leading the cognitive revolutions to develop entrepreneurial enterprises and to run things properly and to invent the new things that we all use and hopefully to raise the living standards of society in general.
Winning is everything. The way it makes you feel, the way it makes your family feel, the way you feel when your children win, the way you feel when your significant others win, the way you feel when you've touched other lives and they win.
People that have that hunger, I believe intelligence, I love people that are wickedly smart. And I work to be wickedly smart by educating and training myself and so forth and training my brain. There's a lot of intelligent people can't fight their way out of a paper bag, right? Hunger is the ultimate driver, because if you're hungry, you can get the strategy, you can get the answer. If you can't model it, you can find it. So hunger, modeling would be maybe the next best skill. Knowing
who is more healthy, who is more of a leader? The Johannesburg janitor who is working with love in his heart, who is greeting every single human being who walks in there with grace and honor, who's doing his work like it's the most important job in the world. Who is more healthy and a truer leader? Him or the person leading a company or a $50 billion company who is actually leading from a place of ego and brokenness, and it's all about filling their bank account, and it's all about ego and appearing on magazines and whatever, versus, creating a culture where people are uplifted, birthing beautiful products out into the world, et cetera, et cetera.
Sharpen the saw. The metaphor here is if you have all this wood to cut and you have a saw with a dull blade, when do you want to sharpen it? Before you start cutting the wood, right? Because a lot of people are going to work hard, it's going to work a lot harder if you have a dull blade, and they have to sweat and perspire and work 3 or 4 times harder when they could have sharpened their saw. And so learning how to learn, like Vishen was talking about, that's you sharpening the saw. Because anything that comes afterwards is going to be easier, right? And so if that person's not working harder, they're working what? Smarter. And one of the best ways to work smarter is accessing your genius states.
And the fact that I have spent a lot of time in the world of well-being, of fitness, of yoga, of spirituality, philosophy, and science, despite the fact that there's so much wisdom out there, the human condition remains so fiercely broken. And our satisfaction with who we are as individuals and the way that we interact and the way that we live in the planet is still so unsatisfying on so many levels.
You are run by the conditioning of your mind, and so you have no choice. The element of choice comes in when you become aware, for example, of the thoughts that go through your head. And you might realize suddenly, and for some people that's the first time they awaken spiritually, when they realize that for years they've had a voice in their head talking to them, which could be a monologue, it could be a dialogue. You could have a conversation with yourself. You can beat yourself up and say, why you're no good. I can't do it. I'm not. And the part of yourself is, well, I'm doing my best. I can't do it. I'm not good enough. The voice in the head. For some people, the spiritual awakening comes when they become aware that there's a voice in the head, and there's the awareness.
Live out the dreams of wealth of a foolish 14-year-old. They're not that common, and you have to be careful of what you're jealous of because you don't really know what it is. And then the other thing that's kind of useful is to understand that you're different from everyone else. And this is especially true as you get older. When you're 17 or 16 or something like that, comparing yourself to other people makes a certain amount of sense because 16 and 17-year-olds, they're kind of the same, which is why when you go off to university, you can make friends so quickly.
When my whole life changed, it was kind of twofold. I was really young, like yourself back then, right? Working my tail off, trying to build a business. And you have big goals, you don't always succeed to start with. It just come together, right? It was hard. And I remember I was so frustrated because I was working 18-hour days and nothing was working and I was broke and I felt embarrassed, I should be doing better than this.
Sure. And the bigger reality is that if you're 18 years old or 20 years old and the stakes are really low and you got your life ahead of you and no responsibilities, awesome. But if you're you or me, or if you're in the middle of your life and you have people looking to you for stability and support and you have responsibilities, the notion that you would follow that advice to me is so destructive.
A great life is less about doing one brave act on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. It's more about what you do every single day. Your days are your life in miniature. Take care of each day and a great life will take care of itself. So if you were to achieve 5 little wins every single day at the end of 30 days, that's 150 little wins. At the end of 1 year, it's 1,850 little wins. So the Daily 5 is another tool to help you do that.
Subscribe now.